episode of Wolf Tracks, we'll learn the finer points of seagull calling, follow Zach's feet through the process of getting his tattoo, and visit the haunt that is Starvation Heights. All this and more. Beautiful days we've been having, haven't we? The sun has been shining, the birds have been singing, and summer's just around the corner. And what holds the essence of summer better than baseball?
For 27 years, Elton Goodwin was the head coach of the South Kitsap baseball team. He had almost 500 wins and 3 state titles. However, in 2003, he hung up his cleats and left it to Mr. Fairweather to continue the tradition.
All I'm trying to do is create my own situation here where my teams reflect me a little bit. I mean, I'm still using South Kitsap baseball terminology and the way that Coach Goodwin taught things, because what I learned from way back playing for him and coaching all these years with him, but also trying to put my own stamp on things so that it is my program and not a relic or something that's similar to what used to be here in the past.
Mr. Fairweather's style of coaching is working very well so far. In fact, they made it back to the district playoffs this year. And with a roster loaded with juniors, next season looks very promising as well. The team is built upon hard work and discipline. The players understand that the amount of wins is directly linked with the amount of work put in at practices. During practice, no aspect of the game is left out. Everyone gets a chance to swing the bat or field some grounders. One reason this year's team had so much success is because of their teamwork.
Strongest aspect of our team, I figure, is that we all get along. There's no controversy amongst the team, and we can just play ball and play hard the whole time. That's about it.
I like coaching, period, because I enjoy kids and I enjoy watching great performances and working hard and all those kinds of things, and being with people like being where I am and doing what I'm doing. And outside the classroom, it's just a little bit different atmosphere, and we get to have fun together and we get to see each other for who we really are. And I got a lot out of it when I was a player. I had influential adults in my life that caused me to be the way I am, and all I'm trying to do is give back to something that I had a great passion for.
Fun, hard work, and discipline got this team to the district playoffs, but unfortunately, no farther. Even though these seniors did not get a chance to experience the thrills of winning a state title, they will still look back at their SK baseball careers with a smile. And for all you juniors on the team, well, there's always next year.
Our baseball team isn't the only thing Port Orchard has to be proud of. Check out this next story to see how Port Orchard has changed over the years.
It's pretty easy to get caught up in the chaos of our own daily lives, and most of us forget all of the interesting things that took place here before any of us came along. Port Orchard has had a lot of changes since the 1920s. For example, in downtown Port Orchard, the roads used to be made of dirt and the parking was in the middle of the street. Have you ever been down by Harper Park near the Southworth Ferry and noticed some random bricks lying on the beach? They aren't just there because somebody dumped them. They are leftover bricks from a brick factory that operated where the baseball field is now. It was known as Harper Brickworks and operated until 1920.
And a lot of the buildings in that area are built with Harper bricks, and was later torn down, and the location is now the ball field at Harper.
Then the factory went out of business because of economic downturns. When they took the factory apart, leftover bricks from the building are what you now see on the beach and on the Harper Park Trail. Also, another change that has occurred in Port Orchard is when an old brewery changed into St. Vincent de Paul.
It was developed by a group of local businessmen and operated as a brewery for quite a few years. It produced a pale Pilsner style of beer and lager style of beer for sale in the local area.
Tacoma Brewery bought the building in the late 1940s until 1952 when it was turned into the TB&M supermarket. Later, it was changed into what we now know as St. Vincent de Paul. Let's go down by the City Hall and see about another building's past. This is a dental office that was built to be the replica of an old hotel. It used to be the Sydney Hotel that was built in 1885 on Kitsap Street for the naval officers of the Bremerton shipyard. Then, in 1911, because of a flash flood, the lower right corner of the hotel was destroyed.
In 1912, it was pulled down the hill from Kitsap Street, where it was originally built, to Prospect Street, where it ended up at the head of Frederick.
Every building in Port Orchard has changed through the years, just like how Harper Brickworks, Silver Springs Brewery, and the Sydney Hotel once did. Now you can watch Port Orchard change as you live on with your own lives.
Change is a necessity, but sometimes there's nothing better than down-home favorite. Take a look at this.
Once in a great while, there comes a competition like no other. A competition that brings only the best competitors from the Tri-County area. A competition that goes by only one name and one name only. And that name is the Port Orchard Seagull Calling Competition.
The competition has been going on for over 15 years, and each year it has gotten bigger. Just recently, one of the finest callers of all time was on the Jay Leno show to showcase her talent.
And it's that competitive spirit that led me to try my luck at this incredible sport.
Now, I knew I had a killer call, but what else did I need?
Could you give us any pointers on how to be the best seagull caller?
Yes, you start out loud, and then you lower it.
Why?
Yeah.
It's a drive. I've been waiting all year for this opportunity again. Newcomers will be creative, make sure you have the right food, and wear a hat.
It's kind of the call of the wild, you know? Sometimes you just have to answer that call.
Have fun.
To be an effective seagull caller, I had to think like a seagull. I had to act like one. So, I dug through trash cans and tasted the sweet nectar of the Puget Sound. Refreshing.
Now I was ready to strut my stuff and show those seagulls what I was made of.
There's glory in the legends of this hard muscle life, and there's poetry in each season made of sweat and strife.
Go! Look at that tiny swat. There, son. There he goes. The waving of the hands, just pulling up the drawers. Very good. Well, I failed miserably, but it's all fun. Oh, apparently I got one. Yes! Mission accomplished.
And as the day came to a close, the awards were handed out, and everybody went home.
Very good. Congratulations, David. This year's competition was a huge success, even if I didn't win. But I'll be back next year, and so will the Seagulls.
Now that looked like fun. Something else that is fun that Port Orchard has to offer is the Kitsap Steamers train rides.
All these tiny things adding up to big smiles and fun for everyone. Meet the Kitsap Live Steamers.
Kitsap Live Steamers has been here probably for about 12 years. I've been a member now for 4 years and really enjoyed it. Virtually everything you see that's not grown by God is built by club members.
Welcome to the train yard, where all the magic begins Saturday mornings. Some trains are stored here, while many owners prefer to bring their trains from all over the Northwest. A lift, doubling as a dolly, transfers trains from truck beds to the steaming bays. This train was fabricated entirely by hand, from machining the tiny valves to assembling the body. While these trains run on a variety of fuels, from coal to electricity, most run on propane.
Probably half of the steam engines that we have run on propane, and that's clearly a maintenance issue. It's a lot cleaner, a lot less work to maintain it.
Just like a full-scale steam engine, water is a necessity.
You see the gauge level right here.
This train can hold up to 20 gallons of water to fuel its engine. 30 minutes later, the engine is hot and ready to go. Walt McGowan now prepares his slightly more modern engine for the day.
It's all electric. It's got, it runs at 30 volts with 5-6 volt batteries. The locomotive weighs about 1,050 pounds. It will pull about 35-40 people.
14-year-old Brandon Hatland prefers his coal-powered train.
Ours is a coal burner, most of them are propane, but I like the coal because it's kind of old-fashioned.
A crowd of anxious train enthusiasts awaits a ride on the trains. Once on board, passengers are reminded not to lean out, for this is the leading cause of derailment. Soon the train is zipping down the track at speeds reaching about 5 miles per hour. Remember, you can come and visit the boys and their toys here at Jackson Park the second and fourth Saturday of each month from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. No matter your age, these trains make everyone feel like a kid again.
All aboard! Those trains have been around since I was a little kid. Another place that's been around for years is none other than Bucks A&W.
Welcome to Bucks A&W. How may I help you?
For 46 years, Bucks A&W has been a staple in the Port Orchard community. They keep customers coming back with their great venue, pleasant service, and great food. But they also take great pride in being a stepping stone for the community. So we asked the owner of Bucks A&W, Rick Gehring, how A&W helps support the Port Orchard community.
We've done a variety of sponsorships of soccer teams as well as Pee Wee football. The latest stuff we've been able to do would be the dinner fundraisers for the different groups that come in, and they provide us 10 different workers, and then from there we are able to generate 40% of the proceeds above our normal sales back to that group that comes in. And we've probably done 15 to 20 of those in the last year and a half. Other than that, we employ a lot of different kids from the high school that tend to generate some money for their insurance and their gas and things of that nature.
For the last 3 years, Bucks has been hosting fundraisers for the community and has been sponsoring sports teams since its opening in 1959. In an age when the world is run by huge multinational corporations, it's nice to still have a neighborhood A&W.
A&W is a town landmark right up there with downtown and the marina. And this next place may be famous, but I certainly wouldn't want to go there.
It looks like any other Olala house, but in fact, this is a scene where many say dozens of people were murdered, or if not murdered, certainly starved to death, all while under the presumption that the infamous Dr. Linda Hazard was going to cure them through her world-famous Fasting for the Cure of Diseases treatment from her world-renowned book. Coming from all over the world, people allowed themselves to be starved in an attempt to defeat the faults in their bodies. Each victim suffered slowly while they imminently starved to death. Dr. Hazard wasn't convicted of her crimes until one of 2 British heiresses died from her treatment. Dr. Hazard served 8 years for her crime and then returned to her newly built sanitarium, where she remained for several years until retreating to New Zealand to continue her practice. In present-day time, all that remains of the infamous Dr. Hazard's property is her aged house, forest-infested foundation that once held up the greatest structure Olala has ever housed, the Hazard Sanitarium.
It was freaky. It was different, you know. We've always heard like strange things in the house, but it was interesting to hear the history behind it. Yeah, we hear a lot of times we hear footsteps going up and down the stairs, like working boots. So it sounds like a big man is walking up and down the stairs. Yes, we get a lot of local teenagers doing reports such as yourself. We've had the Discovery Channel out here. King 5's been out here doing a report. We've had students from the University of Washington out here. Various authors have come out here. So yeah, we've had a lot of people come out here.
All that remains of the sanitarium, which is just a small walk away from the house, is the once working incinerator and now crumbling foundation. Other than the remains from this sanitarium, the property still holds the original bathtub, piano, and fireplace.
So this is the fireplace, kind of famous. A lot of people have heard about it and heard the tale about it. We've had several people come and look at it and try and decipher what these images mean, and nobody's ever been able to tell us. We had a priest come in here one time, and he actually told us that this was one of the 7 gateways to hell. He thought because of the ram's heads and because of the lettering that it was a gateway to hell.
With its rich history and enticing surroundings, there's no doubt why Starvation Heights is striking interest in so many teenagers, even 100 years later. Will it last for another 100 years? I think only Dr. Hazard knows for sure.
Hard to believe some people would actually starve themselves just to get better. But some people don't seem to mind pain. Check out this next story.
What do you think of when you hear this noise? You're thinking tattoos, you're thinking right. Tattoos are back in full swing, and this time around, we're following a man by the name of Zach Speed on his quest to get a tattoo. This is Zach Speed. He tells us why he wants to get his last name tattooed on his back.
I'm getting a tattoo because it's something that I've wanted for probably the last 4 years. It's it's like the dedication to my last name, to my family, and I'm getting it put on my back.
Now we hear from the father on his views of his son getting a tattoo.
Well, I can't change his name now. Other than that, it's his body, it's his decision.
If Zach was to get his name changed, he'd probably want that tattoo removed, which would run him over $10,000. Are you really going to go through with this, Zach?
I am going to.
It's now time for the tattoo process. First, the artist cleans the area desired for the tattoo and carefully applies the stencil on the skin. With great caution, he takes it off and reveals the outline of the tattoo. Next, the artist takes out the needles. Now these needles are not new, but they have been run through the autoclave, which, if you remember last time, is the only way to cleanse the needles of all bacteria. The needles are then put into the tattoo gun, which is inspected thoroughly before he starts. Take a look at the top right part of the tattoo gun. The artist is looking for a spark. Can you see it? The artist then dips the needle into the ink that is now poured into little tiny cups. The artist gives some last minute tips.
Alright, 2 things. Don't hold your breath. Don't move.
And now he's ready. There's no turning back then.
The outline.
This particular tattoo has 2 parts, the outline and the fill. It stings a little bit, but once you get used to it, it's not so bad. The outline is complete. Now it's time for the fill. The difference between an outline needle and a fill needle is that the outline needle is, well,
1 needle, but the fill is 3 needles. After an hour and a half under the needle, it looks excellent. The artist patches it up and goes through some care instructions. Now, to show Mom.
Walking the mile.
It seems like she likes it. Way to go, tattoo artist.
The baby's scarred for life.
We went from outlining to filming, but now sadly, this journey is complete. Zach is just another one of the 25% of teenagers 18 to 25 that will get a tattoo this year. I'm JP Sharp, and this is Tattoo for Today.
Everyone has their own way of personal expression. Some use their bodies, and others use computers, just like in this next story.
Are you like this average teenager spending hours on end playing video games? If so, then you might like a job in video games. We asked Andrew Woods, an animator for Sucker Punch Productions, what it takes to get into the business. He is one of the people responsible for animating the game series Sly Cooper. He didn't start on video games, however. First, he started on a frame-by-frame puppet, like this.
So that's one way to get started. Another way is to take actually take 3D animation courses. But I recommend find a style of animation that you enjoy working on and subject matter that you like to do and work on that while you're in school and kind of explore what you're interested in saying creatively and the kinds of motion you're interested in expressing with your animation, and then worry about what you're going to do with it professionally afterwards. I did a lot of work on animating characters to pre-recorded audio. In this case, I was using answering machine messages that people had left on my phone, and just basically like pulling out the little emotional bits of what they were saying and really trying to make the character look like they were conveying that. And people do that a lot at a lot of modern kind of animation classes. Typically, I would recommend, if you're certain that you want to do animation, then there's all kinds of art institutes and colleges that focus specifically on animation and digital graphics.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to be able to do this, or perhaps this, then you want to be an animator. But it takes more than just wishing. You have to go through some sort of post-high school education. If not, then your entire career as an animator will just be one big game over.
Playing video games as a job sounds like a great gig, but for Derek Webb, playing basketball is even better.
Derek Webb is probably one of the greatest basketball players SK has ever seen. Derek is a 3-year varsity basketball player and has been through state tournaments all through his high school career, something that makes Derek special on the basketball court. But what else makes him stand out so much?
Derek Webb is special because he has leadership skills that are unique and someone so young. He has strong family values and good leadership skills, and that makes him really unique, I think.
Derek's a great guy. He loves everybody. He's always nice to me and the basketball team and anybody he sees in the hall. He also loves children, gives his time back to the community, makes funny jokes, pulls some pranks.
I had a chance to talk to Derek, and he gave me some insight about what lies ahead in his future.
Definitely to go to college somewhere where I could keep playing, something I love doing. Hopefully to pursue my career farther and farther as far as I can go. So wherever I can play, that's basically where I want to go.
Derek had an average of 17 points per game during the 2004-2005 basketball season and 20 points per game during the state playoffs, which led him earning to the Mr. SK Award for his excellence in basketball. Being such a stellar athlete and great person all around, there's no question that Derek Webb sure has a bright future ahead of him, and we hope to see him slam dunk his way all the way to the NBA.
Basketball is a great indoor sport, but let's check out something that lets us have fun in the sun.
The South Kitsap Lady Wolves tennis team had a very successful season this year.
They had many matches throughout the year, and at the end of the year, Coach Olson congratulated all of the seniors on a job well done. Before each match, all of the players warm up together while the opposing team hits balls to them so they can warm up and practice their hitting. Then they decide who is going to start the match. The varsity team consists of 2 singles players and 3 teams of doubles players. The rest of the team is on JV. I asked Abby and Michelle to tell us a little bit about the rules and the 2 types of teams.
Doubles, there's 2 alleys on the side and you can't hit outside the maroon and white lines, but in singles there's another line and you have to hit inside both of those. The top 2 play singles and the next 4 teams play doubles.
At the end of the matches, both teams congratulate each other and head off to root on the rest of their team. Congratulations to Stephanie Davison for winning nationals in the 18 and under division, and congratulations to the tennis team on a great season.
Well, that's it for me. Thanks for watching Wolf Tracks, and have a great summer.